that's the first thing that I wanted to the first step that I wanted to go over in mindset, just breaking down a definition, explaining to you guys the effects of it, how you can apply it to your own life, and what it could do for you. It does volumes. I'm telling you. Think of things positive, and you will have beautiful results. And the second thing, and the part of mindset, is understanding who you are and building a foundation. Foundation means truly, fully, and understanding utterly who you are. And the truth of the matter is, I don't think enough people in the world right now know who they are. And it's a very sad and upsetting thing. It's, there's people who's rich, there's people setting examples, there's people with power who have no fucks of an idea at all who they are, where they're going. They're just doing things. Because what's gonna happen is when you try to change the world and you don't know who you are, the world will change you. That's how it goes. You either change the world or you get far enough to where you're successful and the world changes you. And that's what happens with a lot of these famous rappers, artists, painters, musicians. They start off really humble, they get successful, and then they don't focus on themselves. They don't know who they are, and then they let the industry change. You've seen the jokes and everything, but the Will Smith slap to Chris Rock, that was a very, very real thing that happened on stage. And Will didn't do it, because, oh, I don't like Chris. He did feel disrespected in the moment. And, regardless of him and his wife's relationship, it's because he's lost at the moment. He's lost sight of who he was in that moment and who he is and where he's going. He's very confused, and it's very evident when you watch the videos of him explaining what happened, what went through his mind. Nothing went through his mind at all. That's what I'm trying to get at here. He just acted on him, and as you can see, that's something that's very destructive, and it's at a worse level when you're on national television across millions of sets, and now you're one of the most hated people or most misunderstood people because you made a mistake, because you haven't reestablished your feet in the ground and established who you are and who you want to be. So that's the worst case scenario. But the best case scenario for you in the case watching the video is that you figure that out way before you become successful, way before you finish your growth training, way before you get to that point. Because if you understand who you are from the jump, then you need to get to a spot where nothing and nobody can change your affirmations, what you believe in, and your identity, so that you stick firm to your brand, you stick firm to your personality, and you're true to yourself, so that things like that cannot happen. You have to have your standards. If you can't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's where all of this starts from, your mindset. You have to have a firm foot on the ground and understand and realize that you want to be this type of person and that you're going to work to be this type of thing. But before you do any of that, you have to understand who you are. Why do you want to change the world? Who am I? Do I have such a strong affirmation for what I'm doing that I cannot be changed in any way, shape, or form by, people asking me to do things? And the purest examples of this is starting out at, when you're in high school, you start to see this peer pressure. And that's the simplest example of people trying to establish their own identities on people, as well as establish the meta in the environment to fit in. So you have to establish something for yourself that no matter what's going on around you, no matter who's doing what, if you're not comfortable with doing X, Y, and Z, then you shouldn't have to do it. Don't do it. You should never be okay with conforming to peer pressure. And then if you answer yes or no, then you need to either work on it and then you go to the next step. You keep practicing and you keep working on that, and then you keep working on what you want to be as a person. You contemplate exactly what you want to be. Once you find your purpose and once you find out what type of person you want to be, and you're confident enough that you won't fold, you won't waver, and when the world falls on you, you can hold it up and plant your feet in the ground, then you start working on your surroundings. You start working on how you perceive things. And once you're able to do that, then you own it. You own it from there on out. Everything else is repetition. It's practice. The absolute first thing that you need to master is yourself. That's the final step in building yourself on this video, is your foundation. You need to have an absolute positive foot plant in the ground, knowing exactly who you are, what you want to be, what you want to do in this life. And that will help you be able to change your environment for positive. I'll be able to make do with what I have. I'm a strong person, and that's what that means in terms of mindset. Understanding your values, understanding who you are, and having your feet planted, knowing that no matter what's happening around you, you're good. To build yourself up in confidence, to build yourself up in mentality, and to build your brand, to become something, to be better than who you are today. It all ties in together. Once you do that, it's just repetition. You just practice it. You keep doing it day by day. You mess up, all right, that's cool. I still want to be this type of person. I messed up, but I'm sure something else positive will come along the way, and it will. And when it does, you'll smile. You'll smile and remember, oh yeah, this is something I learned. Like, oh shit, I did it. Like, all right, I like this. It's working. And then you're gonna keep doing it and keep doing it, and then a year from now, that's gonna be you. That's who you embody, and that's who you have to be as a person. You have to have strong affirmations. You have to know who you are. You can't be a canvas. You have to paint your own canvas. You can't let somebody paint yours for you. It's always better to be the black sheep in the group than to just be a follower. You know, that's another part of mindset. Don't be a follower, be a leader. And that's one of the things you have to establish when you're creating yourself. You are never going to have to be a follower. You know, strong people make strong people, and weaker people often go to the strong. So when you start to notice people flock to you for advice, when you start to notice that people flock to you, you know, because they understand how strong your affirmations are, then you can understand and realize, okay, so I'm making progress. This is good. I'm doing the right thing. This is where you want to be. You never want to be in a place where you look like everybody else in the room and you're doing things because everybody else in the room is doing them. You're doing them because you want to do them. And whether or not anybody else is in that room, you were going to do it regardless. So don't be so stuck on what you want to do that you can't see the positive. And make sure that you fix your mindset, that you look at the positive. Smile. Understand your emotion. Don't bottle it down. Don't pretend that the world is fine, but smile anyway. You understand what's going around you. Okay, your day is going crap. People are pissing you off. It's not going well at all. All right, but you're smiling. Don't let people understand and read you so much that they can either piss you off further just because they get a kick out of it, or stay away from you at a long distance when they could have helped you because you look like, you know, you're somebody who doesn't want to be bothered. You look like somebody with an attitude. You know, you smile, you present yourself positively, and I guarantee you, you guys, you're going to be met with positivity. That's just the rule of the world. So that's all today's video on mindset, understanding these 3 principles. The first is understanding what mindset is, having a positive outlook on life, and always looking at things in positivity. Like I said, half glass full, never empty. The second is honestly understanding who you are. And that comes from meditation. That comes from understanding your environment, understanding others, not being able to change or negotiate your terms of your life for anybody. That's step 2. To have a strong affirmation of who you want to be, who you are right now, and who everybody else is around you. And understanding that these are your values and you do not change them for a single person, no matter what. And step 3 is having a foundation. Understanding the 2 previous values that I mentioned and combining them to understand that once you have mastered these 2, that no matter what comes your way in life, when you create your brand, when you become more successful, and when you finally start getting attention in the world, and you finally start setting yourself out there into the greater, bigger task, that as long as you have these 2, and you get to create a ultimate third form, which is planting your feet in the ground and creating your foundation, so that no matter how hard things get or difficult or what's going on in your environment, you won't change your character. You won't change who you are. You won't change your brand based on anything around you, and you'll be unapologetic about it. I guarantee you, you'll be 3 and 4 times more successful because of this. And, you know, it just makes you feel better about yourself at the end of the day. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Part 4 coming out in 2 days. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Kuma Wisdom is going out.